Psalms 37, verses 16 through 34. Better is the little of the righteous than the abundance of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord sustains the righteous. The Lord knows the days of the blameless, and their inheritance will be forever. They will not be ashamed in the time of evil, and in the days of famine they will have abundance. But the wicked will perish, and the enemies of the Lord will be like the glory of the pastures. They vanish, like smoke they vanish away. The wicked borrows and does not pay back, but the righteous is gracious and gives. For those blessed by him will inherit the land, but those cursed by him will be cut off. The steps of a man are established by the Lord, and he delights in his way. When he falls, he will not be hurled headlong, because the Lord is the one who holds his hand. I have been young, and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging bread. All day long he is gracious and lends, and his descendants are a blessing. Depart from evil and do good, so you will abide forever. For the Lord loves justice, and does not forsake his godly ones. They are preserved forever, but the descendants of the wicked will be cut off. The righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it forever. The mouth of the righteous utters wisdom, and his tongue speaks justice. The law of his God is in his heart. His steps do not slip. The wicked spies upon the righteous and seeks to kill him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand or let him be condemned when he is judged. Wait for the Lord and keep his way, and he will exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you will see it. At verse 25, I have been young, and now I am old. You have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging bread, is, I think, particularly important as a testimony of the faithfulness of God. Pulling from my family history again, my grandfather Armstrong was in the Army during World War I. Toward the end of the war, was caught up in the great influenza epidemic, the Spanish flu, and was in the hospital. And his family, my grandmother, who was not yet married to him, none of them knew where he was or whether he was alive. They did not have the communication that we have today, and it was just unknown. They didn't know but what he was dead. Well, he did survive the flu and was released from the hospital and had to walk home. But he eventually, met up with my grandmother again, married her. They wound up in West Texas working the oil fields, and one of the jobs that they had was they ran a little grocery store over in West Texas out there. And they did all this and raised their kids through the Great Depression. Well, at the outbreak of World War II, a lot of the oil field workers left the oil field to go to Houston to work the ship channel in the war effort, in building ships, things like that. They left my grandfather, Armstrong, with a pile of credit slips. He sold, as was common at the time, he sold on credit. Somebody would come in, get some groceries, write out a bill, basically an IOU, and was supposed to pay him at the next payday. Well, being the Great Depression, a lot of bills racked up. My grandfather had paid for all of the goods by cash. So he was left with a large stack of credit slips, no way to collect, and no one to collect from. He wound up moving to Houston as well, and working shipbuilding, things like that. Years went by, and when I was, I want to say about 7 years old, he passed away from congenital heart defects, leaving my grandmother now without a husband. Of course, they'd lost a lot of money in the move, things like that. Uh, Later on, and I tell you all of this to make the point of what my grandmother told me. Later on, she developed a colon cancer that eventually wound up killing her. And during the last stages of her disease, as she was laying in bed in pain constantly, knowing her time was coming, I was there visiting with her, being with her a little bit, and she looked at me and said, "John, Jesus has never failed me yet. I don't see why he would fail me now." She said that from the background of her fiance, or, wasn't really a fiance at the time, but my grandfather having nearly died in the flu epidemic, having moved around West Texas, running this store, losing all of their money, having to move to Houston and struggle to find another way to make a living, losing her husband, uh, working, all of her life to just try and make ends meet. But she knew Jesus was faithful. Jesus would take care of her. And she could testify, "I have been young, and now I am old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging bread." God is faithful. He will take care of us. He will watch over the righteous, those who love him. And there is nothing for us to fear because God goes before us. I don't know about tomorrow. I just live from day to day. I don't borrow from its sunshine, for its skies may turn to gray. I don't worry o'er the future, for I know what Jesus said. And today I'll walk beside him, for he knows what lies ahead. Many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know who holds tomorrow, and I know who holds my hand. Every step is getting brighter as the golden stairs I climb. Every burden's getting lighter, every cloud is silver lined. There the sun is always shining, there no tear will dim the eye. At the ending of the rainbow, where the mountains touch the sky, many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know who holds tomorrow, and I know who holds my hand. I don't know about tomorrow. It may bring me poverty, but the one who feeds the sparrow is the one who stands by me, and the path that is my portion, it may be through the flame or flood, but his presence goes before me, and I'm covered in his blood. Many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know holds tomorrow, and I know who holds my hand.